And go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths. You can turn your attention inward. When you do that, you let the body know that you're turning off the outside world and you're going inward. And here inside yourself, you connect with God, source, however you see that energy. And you connect with that spiritual part of you. So just give yourself that space. Let that body relax. Just breathe, and you can kind of put your attention just right in your own head. And just kind of what I would say, be in the moment. Nothing to fix, nothing to do, no one you have to take care of. Just let yourself relax and be present. And just saying hello to your body. And look down right at the very base of your tailbone. There's an energy center there we call a chakra. And just, we're going to make an energy connection from that first chakra at the base of the spine all the way down to the center of the earth. And just allow those 2 points to be connected. Energy isn't fussy. It's very much like electricity. Once you plug it in, it's there. You don't have to think, light on, light on. It just does it. And when we talk about a grounding cord, I like to think of a tree sitting on a tree trunk with the roots growing down to the center of the earth. That's a great way to visualize it. But you can use anything to ground. It could be a hollow pipe or an anchor and chain, whatever sounds good to you. And just allow that body to ground and relax. And just start by letting go of your day, even if it was great. Just letting go of the energy so that you can just be a little bit more present with yourself. Just draining out any excess energy. If you were outside in the beautiful weather today, if you were cooking, shopping, eating, there's so many things we do in one day. It's amazing. So just releasing any of that energy and being aware of gravity, letting it help you. And one of the reasons we teach energy tools are because that's many times what we get upset with is the energy of something. So when we use energy tools, it really helps us just to be here and be settled and grounded. And to me, it helps create a sense of peace around my body. And that body becomes like your sanctuary, the place you come home and land. And that's how you start to build that peace around yourself. And eventually, it's amazing. There's no noise in your head. All those should voices, gone. So it's nice to have that sense of inner peace where you can just be present not worried, not concerned about tomorrow, but just being here in the moment. So again, take one more deep breath and just be aware of gravity. Let it do its job. This is one of my favorite tools to teach is grounding. If I have in a classroom, I love to give everybody a handful of crayons. And then you can imagine taking one crayon and just putting like the energy of all the bills you've paid in your whole life. If there's any energy in your aura still or your body, anytime you ever worried about having enough money, just put all that energy in that crayon, and drop it down. And it just feels good to release it. And so you can imagine doing that. You can think of rocks or whatever you want to drop down that grounding cord. Again, energy isn't fussy, but grounding is a great way of releasing energy you no longer need. So we're just going to kind of play this game and have fun with it. So if you had a bunch of pens around you or crayons, you could actually drop things. But imagine taking another crayon and just putting all the expectations from your mom. We love her, but any expectation she had for you growing up your whole life, whether you met them or not, just let that energy come out of your body into that crayon, being oh so amused, and dropping it down your grounding cord, just releasing it. And breathe. And hey, we don't want to forget Dad. So let's take another crayon for Dad. And just let that energy go down. Pull it out of your space, drop it down that grounding cord. Take a deep breath. That's it. Now, how about, have you ever had any expectations of yourself? Anybody ever judge themselves? If you have, take out a crayon for judgment. Maybe you had a bad hair day, or you thought somebody else performed better than you did, or, oh, we come up with so many self-judgments. It's amazing. And again, just a little mild amusement, because that helps let it go. Feel that energy. You can imagine it in a rock or that crayon, and just drop it. The nice thing about gravity is we know it's not going to hang in the air. It's going to go all the way down. I like that part. So when you're having a tough day, you know, there's always a quiet space around you somewhere that you can just sit down and for 5 minutes, let go of anything that's bugging you. So if you're at work and your boss is driving you crazy, or a coworker, or you just feel the pressure of having to get a deadline met, it's like, okay, I'm just going to stop for 5 minutes and ground. Just letting it all go. And as you do that, then you're giving the responsibility to your spirit, not your body. And your spirit will always come up with the answer. It's amazing the answers that your spirit can come up with. It's like, oh, I can do bing, 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 and all things come together. So giving yourself that space, just letting go, practicing on a very practical level. Just letting go of anything that's been bugging you. Any pressures, any expectations. Excellent. Just letting it go down to the center of the earth. And the nice thing about the center of the earth, if we look at our seasons, here we're coming into spring, new growth. But during the winter, things transmute and they transform from frozen, brittle ground into green shoots. The earth knows how to do that magic, how to transform old energy into new. So when you ground, the earth knows how to process that energy. Your body learns how to release it and allow something new to take its place. It's kind of like, in a funny way, if you took all the clothes you've worn since you were a brand new baby and you tried to cram them in that closet of yours, they wouldn't fit. You have to get rid of the things that no longer work for you. And when you do that, you make room for something new. So it's letting go, really looking at your life. What isn't working anymore? And it can be little things. It might be, hey, your body wants a different kind of food for fuel. It could be a job that you have where maybe you're just not getting the kind of respect or validation from your coworkers. It could be you just needing more time to just think. Spirits love to just ponder. The body likes to be active all the time. But sometimes I think the body wants to be busy so that the mind, the spirit part, doesn't have time to really think about what it wants to do. So it's kind of interesting when you give yourself that time and space, what starts to bubble up within you? What new ideas are percolating and coming to the surface? You want to make room for them. And a good way to do that is to ground. I'm just going to give you tons of examples of practical ways you can just use grounding. It is so easy. We miss it. And so just taking another deep breath. And this time, let's work a little bit with the body because we're a great team, a spirit and a body. So let's say hello to the physical body. Say hello to all the muscles and the bones in your body. They carry us around every day, up and down stairs, down grocery aisles, around and about. Say hello to all those bones and muscles and just allow them to be grounded. Just releasing any tired energy out of that body physically. Any energy out of any of the organs. The heart, it's pumping all the time. Give it a little grounding cord. And just ground out of your heart any trauma, any heartache, any place you've been holding pain in that heart. Maybe somebody did you wrong. They insulted you, and really anybody who comes from that place is just hurting themselves. It's usually a cry for help. So if someone insulted you, just allow that energy to move through you and down into the earth so that you can expand your heart and create more space for love to come in. Love is our natural state as a spirit. And we're learning how to raise the vibration of the body to match it. And we're human. We get insulted, we get hurt. It happens. just giving to yourself, draining it out, and letting yourself start over. Pick a color and ask your heart, what color would it like to be? What vibration do you want to be in? And just let yourself enjoy that color filling your heart. And how about those lungs right next to the heart? They breathe automatically and they process, they release toxins through the body. So give them a hello, ground the lungs, take a deep breath, and just send that level of gratitude to the body. It's such an amazing body, how it all works. And then what about that whole digestive tract? I'm always amazed at how God created this form and how well it works until it doesn't. And then you really appreciate it. So say hello to your whole ability to digest and process and just ground it, letting go of any energy that got in the way. Usually if you're a firstborn child, either the first male or the first female, you work on power your whole life. And it always affects that third chakra, that stomach digestive area. Isn't that great? So for your whole life, you're going to work on power and digestion. Woohoo! Might as well make friends with it. So send a little amusement to that digestive tract. It's like, hey, I'm right here with you. We're going to do it. We're working it. If you're a second born, if you're the second female or the second male, usually the second child works on heart energy, relationships. You're relating to people all the time. That's how your learning is set up. And trust me, you handpick this, whether you remember or not. That's kind of the fun of it. Third birth is about competition because you don't want to have anything to do with the first two. So you're going to do it totally different, very creative. And the parents always wonder, where the hell did we get that kid? Because we don't fit. It's great. Then once you go 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, whatever, 12, it changes. There's more of that repeat. So take a deep breath and just say hello to your body and what you contracted to do this lifetime. Oh, the spirit's got the whole game plan down. It's just like every once in a while, the body's like, could you give me a hint? I don't remember. Just clue me in. I said I'd do what? Yeah. So the more you can be amused and enjoy the journey, then you lose the struggle. It doesn't have to be hard. But all of us, every day, every once in a while, beat our head against the wall, going, oh, what was I thinking? And, you know, if you look at little kids, they're having so much fun. They don't really take things too serious. You know, somebody pushes them or something, and 5 minutes later, they're best friends again. And, you know, same in the animal kingdom. We could learn a lot from each other, just from nature and kids. We could all get along a little bit better. Take another deep breath and then just ground your male and female parts. Each of us picked these bodies. You studied so many different models before you picked this body. You picked it for its genetic capabilities. You picked it for what you could learn by being in this particular form. And this body you agonized over. It's like everything about you is so perfect. You are whole, complete and perfect, just the way you are. Please stop trying to not be who you are. Love this body. It's amazing. And out of all the models in the whole world, this is the one you decided on. You can pick another one that next lifetime, but while you're here, have a good time with it, because there's no one in the whole world like you. Nobody can do what you do. So giving that ability to yourself, really grounding and taking away any angst at being you and what you've come to do this lifetime. Breathe. And again, energy is just like electricity. It just flows. So the minute you plug a light socket into an electric plug, it flows until you tell it to stop. And the minute you ground, that energy in you just flows. And anything that isn't yours is heavier, it's opaque, and it just starts to be released down that grounding cord, that conduit. And there's fun ways of using grounding. I love to ground before I go grocery shopping because, there's so much programming in the grocery store. Buy this, buy that. Oh, this would be great. What's all in those front aisles, What are they programming you for? So it's really great to ground the grocery store before you ever go in. And it's like, I'm going to go and shop with my body. And I always ask my body, what would you like? And how many times have you picked asparagus or kale or Brussels sprouts and you got home and they rotted in the thing? You didn't get around to cooking them. Your body wanted them, but you couldn't mentally, you couldn't get there. You have to be amused. It's like, oh, body, I tried so hard. I got it home. I got it in the refrigerator. I just never got it in your mouth. So again, being a little amused and listening again. It's like, all right, let's try again. We were close, no cigar, but we'll get it. And the body's telling you, hey, I need vitamin A or I need D or whatever it is that the body needs. I know for most of my life, I tried to eat chicken versus beef. Chicken was supposed to be better for you. And much, much later, 30 years later, I found out I was allergic to chicken. I'm like, darn, why didn't I listen to myself? I knew it. I had the answer, but I let society program me. So you just have to be really amused at the things you learn along the way. Let them go. So you could try grounding before you go shopping. You could try before you drive in the morning to work or wherever you're going. Ground your car. Just imagine looking out your window right now and seeing your car, visualizing it, and putting a grounding cord on it. It's just going to be the circumference of the bottom of your car. And just letting that grounding cord drop to the center of the earth. And just drain out any energy, old energy in your car that's been sitting there. When you were stuck in traffic, when you were trying to hurry and rush. Maybe you had a fight with someone when you were, in the car. Just ground all that stuff out. And fill it with a color that would be something light and fun for you. Just like it's a very brand new car. Like no one's ever used it. You can recreate that energy and just start over. Send a little love to that car. It gets you here and there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just send it a little validation. We all feel better when we're validated. Take a deep breath. And then think of one person in your life that maybe you have an emotional situation with. Could be positive, could be negative. I'm not asking. And just say hello. Send a hello to that person. You know when how someone feels about you when you meet them. Do you feel love for them? Do you feel anger? Do you feel judgment? And there's people in your life who judge you, and you know it. And you know what? They can feel it from you too. Oh, yeah. We're not always innocent. So be a little amused. Pull back any judgment you have for anybody. You know, it's so easy to think we have the right answer and they should do it our way. Hey, it's just human nature. So again, find a little amusement about how or who you've judged. Isn't that great? And then try again. How would you like to think about them? How would you like them to think about you? Give yourself that ability. You know what? It's only life. Earth is a school. We all come, we figure it out, and it takes us a while, but we get better and better at it. And you start to really enjoy your life. And the more space you have, the easier it is to just be present with yourself, no matter what's going on. And if there's tension in the room, you can look around and catch someone's eye and go, that was intense. It's like you're talking to the energy instead of judging it. And then it loses its power over you. Or if somebody, your kid's screaming and beating his head against the floor, like, nice, good head banging. It's like, well, that went well. Not. It gives you that power to walk away and not get pulled into somebody else's drama. And that to me is what grounding is about, is giving you that time and space to really see what is it you want to create. You see what's happening around you. If you've tried to have a fight with a 3-year-old, you will never win. So it's like my method of discipline in the classroom was I'd lick their nose. It's hideous. If someone's ever licked your nose, it's gross to be slobbered on. So the kids would say, hey, she'll do it. I'm like, you put that toy in the fish tank, I'm going to have to lick your nose. That was my level of discipline because it kept the amusement, but boy, it set a boundary and it worked. I don't know if I'd recommend doing that with an adult. Yeah, I can't run that fast. But with a kid, if you can keep that space of amusement, kids are wonderful to work with. They are so aware. It's just amazing. They're the best grounders on the whole planet. And they like to use like monkey tails around a big stick, and they'll pull on it to make sure it's in there. Or if you're having a bad day, one of my favorites was this kid who made a cow grounding cord, and it mooed every time he walked. And I can just imagine being at some stuffy business meeting, where you just are going crazy and then having this little moo grounding cord on. You'd have to just be laughing inside. And what a great way to go through a business meeting that you're not having fun in. It's like changing the vibration. Just using energy tools to help you through your day. And this is where I think we sometimes get so serious as adults. We stop having fun. And kids can give you back that magic. It's great. But giving yourself that space to really love your life. It's like, we're here for just a blink and then we're gone. So it's like, what do you want to do? How do you want to live? How do you want this life to unfold? The best part is there's no right answer. But sometimes you can look at a friend or a neighbor or a colleague and go, oh my God, I am so glad I'm not in that life. Woo! And it really makes you appreciate what you've got, what you've created, what you've come up with. And if it stops being fun, hey, maybe it tells you that path has ended and it's time to find one that's a little bit better. So take a deep breath. And as we ground, we make room for new things in our life to happen. And the way we like to do that is with a big gold sun. So you're going to create an image of a gold sun that's twice as big as your body. Balance it on the top of your head. You'll look a little bit like a seal for a minute. And start to ask yourself, what is it that you'd like? What do you want to fill in this space with? If you got rid of some of that heavy energy, what do you want to give back to yourself? You might need more money. It might be something physical, a new car. It might be more joy or peace. It might be sleeping better, walking, having more friends. You're only limited by your imagination. And there's nothing you can't envision. You can put as many things as you want in that gold sun, even different colors. And when it's ready, pop it or unzip it and let it just flow like liquid gold or whatever color you put in there through the body, starting at your head, filling it up, going down your arms and out your hands, through your torso, your tummy, your legs and your feet, just giving back to yourself, filling yourself up with your own essence. You've just made room for all this. And I like to put up a little thermometer and just 0 to 100. How full of life force energy are you? Maybe that gold sun filled you up 20%. If it did, then you got 80% more room in there. Get going, do another gold sun. And create another huge gold sun, as many as it takes, filled with anything that you want. Just loving you. When you have what you want in there, pop it, unzip it, and let it flow in, filling you up again. Maybe this time it fills the rest of your body and out into your aura. Look at that gauge, 0 to 100. How full of life force energy are you? How much can you have? You know, God created this whole world just for you, just for me, just for each of us. There isn't anything you can't have. Just taking a deep breath, bringing it in. Once you fill your body, then let that gold sun go out into the aura, all around yourself. You as a spirit are so big, you can't fit even a third of you in that physical body. So that aura contains a lot of your spiritual information. And when you start really getting good at grounding and being strong and side yourself, you might gain 5 or 10 pounds, or that could be the chocolate too, but let that be okay. I don't know who came up with the weight game, but it's kind of an interesting game. Let yourself be who you are. Good days and bad. Just let it all go. Decide you're going to be happy, that you want all the magic. You can take that energy and reach up and touch the source. Let that gold light fill you up from head to toe. And every day it's different. Tomorrow, when you bring in gold suns, you'll pick different things, or you might pick the same thing over and over. I know when you get grounded, the intuitive spiritual part of you starts to be able to connect to the physical body, and you begin to hear what you need. The body can hear the spirit when it's grounded. And that's when the magic happens. That's when life comes together and it stops being hard. It gets easier and easier. So take a deep breath, do one last gold sun. Maybe it's just loving yourself, looking in the mirror and saying, hey, you got this. You got to be this great, incredible person that's helping as a spiritual being, helping Earth evolve. What an awesome assignment to go to planet Earth, cause a little trouble, eat a little chocolate, and find great friends to hang with. It's a tough life, but we all picked it. The trick is to wake up and remember it, because here we are.